You ready, Abe?
I'm ready.
All right, man. I'm joined with the sickest sports manager in the whole UFC game, in American football. Abe Kawa, live from Miami. What's cracking, homie?
Appreciate you. Oh man, same old. Doing what everybody else is doing right now. Just sort of enjoying a mini vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you working from home now or from the office?
Both. I mean, realistically, we don't have many people coming to my office, and like outside people coming. Usually just me, my brother, maybe one or two other guys will be in there. But we're doing, none of us are sick. None of us have any symptoms. We're good. I have no issues. I do majority from home though. Majority I am home. I'm not really going out too much. I've been staying home and just kind of, enjoying the time with the family more than anything.
Yeah. Are you allowed to have visitors come to your house?
They say no, but everybody's had. It's not like, listen, Miami is not a normal city. It's a city built on Cubans, and the Cubans that left communist Cuba, they don't necessarily listen to the government the way you would think. They left that country for that reason. Yeah. So when they come here, you tell them you have to be 6 feet apart. They tend to go like 5 feet. That's just the way you can only have one person at your house. They'll show up with two. Yeah. That's just the way. That's just the way it goes. They don't really listen too much unless it hits them hard. There's really no. They just don't care.
Yeah. What about here in Sydney, where I think I told you this before, we're allowed 2 visitors per home.
Right.
And I think on Friday, restaurants and coffee shops are going to open.
Nice.
Yeah, so hopefully get back to normal.
The faster people can get back to work and get moving again,
yeah,
you'll see how all the deaths go like this, and all the cases are going to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel that way.
Yeah. Well, the good news is Dana White has he's organized UFC 249 this weekend. It's now 5 days away. So we've got your expertise to help give us predictions for us sports punters. Man, we've been waiting for an event for so long, honestly. Like,
I thought you guys were gonna start gambling on the day you're able to come back outside again, put up odds for stuff like that. I was like, what are these guys gonna gamble on?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but
honestly,
thank God for Dana White, man.
Yeah, if it wasn't for UFC, we could only bet on fucking table tennis. Shitty table tennis.
It's fun though. Ping pong's fun, man. Ping pong's fun. That's a fun one.
It's a fun sport to play, but
not to watch.
To watch it, yeah, that's fucking. It's the most boring shit.
I'm with it. Yeah, I'm with you. So let's get cracking. Let's talk about these fights on Saturday.
Yeah, all right. So we'll start. We'll just do the main card. So there's 5 fights on the main card, and let's just pick. Let's go with the most. For me, the most uninteresting fight is Jeremy Stephens and Calvin Kattar.
I actually probably would say that's my most kind of fight. Like that's the one I think goes under the radar. Calvin Kattar's a tough fighter. He's coming off of a few wins, I think. And Jeremy had that issue with Yair, and his last 3 fights he's fought some really tough guys. But I don't think Jeremy loses just to anybody. So I would actually probably think Jeremy takes that fight. He's good, man. Jeremy's good. He gets a lot of slack. Who the fuck is this guy? But he's a good fighter, man. He's not a bad fighter. He's tough. And I think if you watch that fight with Yair also, if there's two more rounds, I think in that fight, like I don't know, I felt like he was coming on at the end. It didn't seem like he did anything the first couple rounds, and then all of a sudden he was putting it on. So if Jeremy could start fast, I don't know how he loses to Kattar, but Kattar's good and he's tough. It's a tough fight. So yeah,
I'd say Stephens is very motivated because he's lost 3 straight fights.
It's kind of it for him, right? It's kind of it for him.
Exactly.
Gotta come show up. So I think.
Yeah.
I think I would take Jeremy in this fight.
And he's paying $2.93, so very
easy
good
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would take those just on the odds.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Greg Hardy and Jürgen DeCastro. What do you think of that one?
I like that fight. Greg's my guy, so I actually think Greg's gonna win. Way more athletic. Greg's probably more athletic than any heavyweight there is there. He's just a freak of nature. The guy he could do anything that you need him to do. So if this is gonna be a stand-up war, which I'm pretty sure Jürgen wants to keep it standing, Greg's gonna be faster. Jürgen's never seen that. He's never seen the guy who can come in and out the way Greg does, move the way he does. It's a good fight for Greg. This is a great fight for Greg, and if Greg might shock people and actually take him down and do some stuff to him there. So I think this is one of those fights where Greg is going to be able to kind of show he's evolved as a fighter. So
do you think
that's good.
This fight ends in a knockout?
It can. It can. I think it can. I don't see that it's not possible. It can. What's the odds? What are they paying?
For a knockout? By knockout or TKO, $2.40. And that's the only way he wins, because he's a knockout artist. All 5 of his wins have been knockouts.
Nah, but he can go the distance. We've seen it. We've seen him go to the distance. And if he doesn't have that broken hand against Volkov, that fight may have been different. He ended up staying with Volkov off whatever amount of rounds it was. I forgot if it was a 3 or 5 rounder. And he went, the distance with Volkov, and it was a 3 rounder. And he didn't fade. So he can go the distance.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, he can.
And that's Hardy had 5 fights last year. So
yeah. I wish we could have done that. He wanted it again this year, but just with the situation with the virus, didn't let it. But yeah, he would have loved to go 5 more.
All right. So we got Hardy. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a tough fight. Like both. Yeah, Greg, I'd say he's more explosive, and like you said, he's way more athletic, and he's got the size advantage. He's 6'5". DeCastro's like 6'1". So yeah. All right. Third main card, another one of your clients, Jairzinho Rozenstruik against Francis Ngannou. So this one now, everyone, if you don't know, Abe represents Jairzinho. So you can say what you predict will happen. You don't have to. What I'll ask you is this. Do you think the fight goes the distance?
I personally don't see it going the distance. However, this is the part that gets a little tricky, and this is more on the Ngannou side. When Ngannou's faced with a big, strong striker outside of Overeem, who kind of rushed in and played that game, he doesn't necessarily do very well. You can look at what he did with Derek Lewis, was another one of my clients, and Ngannou was frozen. He didn't do anything. He didn't want to rush in. He wanted to stay on the outside, and Derek played the game, and Derek did a better job staying on the outside than him. So in this case, I think Jair, he is calling him out. When have you seen someone call out Ngannou and say, "I want this guy. This is the guy I want"? It's almost like he knows. It's almost like he knows he's going to finish him. So I'd like to go on that side. I'm gonna say no. It's not going to go the distance. It's gonna go Rozenstruik by KO.
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna say.
A lot of people don't know this, but Jair's got 85 kickboxing fights, 76 wins, 46 knockouts. That's huge. Yeah. And so he can easily bang with Francis, and I don't think he hasn't experienced the power that Francis has. So I think in all the years of kickboxing, he's experienced powerful guys like Francis. So I don't think his jab or anything will.
I'll say this: Jair's from Suriname, and one of our guys went with him this last trip when he went back to back home after the fight, and he comes back and he goes, "Would you believe me if I told you that Jair's the smallest guy there?" I was like, "What?" He goes, "Everybody he trains with is bigger than him, all the people walking the streets are bigger than him. Jair's actually the smallest guy there. And I said, no wonder he called out Francis Ngannou. This guy doesn't care. He's been seeing these kind of guys his whole life. So I kind of like that. I kind of like that that idea there that he's, you know, it's just another guy for him. If he's gone through it in his hometown, he's gonna be, you know, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah. For Jair to win, $3.20.
So take that all day.
Yeah.
Take that all day.
All right.
See, it's morning time for me, so I get to have my coffee. Good.
What's that?
I said it's morning time for me, so I get to have my coffee.
Oh yeah.
I know it's nighttime. I know it's nighttime for you already. I know.
Yeah, it's just.
You may need some coffee just to stay awake, right? I know.
I got my soda stream here. No, but you know, I always sleep at now without the NBA because I'd always wake up 11 a.m. earliest. But now that there's no NBA, I'm waking up at 1 p.m.
Like whatever time, right? I can imagine. Yeah. Like everybody else, man. Same thing. Everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah, man. I'm such a lazy cunt. All right, Abe. Co-main event. Another one of your clients, Dominick Cruz against Triple C. Henry Cejudo.
For the good of the world. For the good of the world, Dominick Cruz wins.
Yeah.
For the good of the world. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
For the good of the world, Dominick Cruz wins. And you know, people that are counting him out don't understand. Henry is a small 135 pounder. He's not a big 135 pounder. He does present problems, but Dominick historically has done very well against wrestlers. I don't know that Henry is going to be able to stand with Dom. He may come in and pressure very quickly, which is what I expect Henry to do, just because it's kind of like what he did with TJ. Did he go in and pressure TJ, or did he catch him on the counter? I can't remember, but I think that's their game plan, and they feel that because they were able to do it to TJ, they're going to be able to do it to Dom, because TJ tries to emulate his style off of Dom a lot. The problem is that Dom is a full 135er, and I mean a full 135er. His movement, Henry has never seen. So when we take that TJ fight and you look at it, TJ tried to move a lot. But I think it's better to look at what DJ did with Henry than it is to look at what TJ did, because we only got a very little out of TJ. With DJ, I can say honestly, I thought DJ won both fights. The first one obviously was a clear-cut win. The second one went to a decision, but I don't think he's going to be able to hold down. And this is a lot coming from, he's an Olympic wrestler, right? So it's not like I'm discounting that. I just think Dom is a bigger guy than what Henry has fought before. So I don't see him knocking out Dom. I can't see him taking him down and keeping him down, because even DJ got up. You got to think, even DJ got up, and DJ is a small guy at 125. He's super athletic, super, you know, like I like to say like a ping pong, you know, like one of those, not ping pong, the hell's that thing called?
Tetris.
No, you know, the game where you pull back the thing and the ball hits and it goes through. Pinball machine. Pinball. Crap,
yeah.
I can't think. Right, so I like to see he's more like a pinball. He's like, bam, 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 he's over there. Dominick moves. When he moves for a purpose. Everything he does is purposeful. So when he moves to the right, there's a reason. When he moves to the left, there's a reason. When he feints, there's a reason. There's a reason for all of it, which is a little bit different because, you know, that they're good. And people forget Dom came back from a long hiatus to beat Masvidal. Easy. Yeah. He didn't even make it look like it was hard. So I think we have a new 135-pound champion come Saturday. And I think it's for the good of the world that we get that 135-pound champion. Yeah. Stop seeing, you know, the cringe. Just you know.
What about the 3-year layoff? Do you think he can do what GSP did? Because
he did it. He did it before. Remember when he was out for 2 years? He came back and beat Mugaki, whatever his name is, Matsugaki. And that dude was coming out so fast. You don't remember Dom did that?
Nah, honestly, I didn't watch his fights until
2 years off. 2 years off. The thing is, Dom is cerebral. He is not necessarily gonna go in there and you know, outmaneuver you. He is just cerebral. So his mind is just. I mean, talking to Dom, I've felt, you know, like he's one of the smartest guys in this game. I can tell you that right now. he understands this game better than a lot of people. So when he went in there and he did this thing with Muzugaki or whatever, beat him in, it was a round, man. It was beautiful, and he made it seem like he knew exactly what he was going to do. He's been prepping for Henry for a while, so we're going to see a really good version of Dominick Cruz. He's been training, feels good, everything is working for him, everything is clicking for him, so he should be fine. We should be good. Yep.
Do you think if he does win, points? He's only got 8 knockouts in his 22 wins. So
yeah, I would think
points.
I would think a decision would probably be realistic. But who's to say? We can get a small 25er. I'm telling you, not 25er, 35er. Yeah. Henry, he's always struggled making the weight at 25 because he's thick, but it's not necessarily like he's big. So, we'll have fun with this one.
All right.
And I like Henry a lot.
Abe predicts Dominick Cruz to do what GSP did, which is come off a 3-year layoff and beat the champ.
Well, he didn't beat the champ last time, but he's done it before. 2 years off. He beat one of the hottest guys in the division, and then that guy, after he lost to Nam, disappeared.
35, you don't think he's a bit old? Cejudo's 33, and Cejudo's he's a bad little Mexican. Oh,
he's a badass.
Hey, what do you think of this, right? It's Cinco de Mayo today. In Australia today, Cinco de Mayo. For you guys, also.
No, yeah.
Do you think that Cejudo wants to sort of put it over Cruz and say, I'm the real Mexican? And
no, that doesn't.
No, you don't think that's an added motivation for Cejudo to try to,
I've spoken to Henry. Henry doesn't even claim his Mexican roots most of the time. He does it for show, but he doesn't really claim his Mexican. He claims more Brazilian at this point than he does Mexican. So, yeah, he's not Brazilian, but he, it sounds like he claims way more Brazil than he does Mexico for a lot of the things. He doesn't embrace his Mexican community. This is me talking to Mexicans, real Mexicans, and that this is what they feel about him. So I don't think so. I don't see that happening. Now I think his motivation is he gets to put one of the best names. One of the biggest names of the game. If he could beat Dominick, that's a huge. Dominick's the GOAT at 135, man. He's the GOAT at 135. So if he's able to do that, that would be impressive. I'm not gonna lie, that would be impressive. Yeah.
I think I honestly with all I've got a feeling Cejudo gets this, and I think he'll go the distance. I think it's going to be hard for Cejudo to catch Dominick, but I think Dominick's just going to start fading after the first couple of rounds.
Even though he's never faded in a fight before.
Just the 3 year. That's what's really because last year Cain Velasquez came back after 3 years off. He got killed in 20 seconds.
Go back and watch Dominick Cruz versus Mitsugaki, and then you could text me later in private and you let me know if you still hold that. That's a 2-year layoff off of a serious surgery he had. So go ahead and then you can let me know how you feel about that afterwards.
Yeah, but how old was he for that? He was a young man.
You're talking about this. If he's 35 now, this is what, 30?
What was the dude's name? 34. Oh, yeah. Takeya Mizugaki.
Mitsugaki, yep.
2014. Yeah, so he would have been
6 years ago. Yeah, 29.
All right, cool. So Abe's got Cruz winning on point.
And new.
All right.
Or a finish. He can submit him. Yeah. He's got a nasty guillotine. He can submit him. Catches Henry coming in, head on the outside. Why not? Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Look, it's the fight game. Anything's possible.
Anything can happen.
All right. And lastly, the main event, interim lightweight bout, championship. Tony Ferguson, El Cucuy, and Justin Gaethje. Who do you think?
I've learned this lesson. I've learned this lesson. Do not bet against Tony Ferguson. I learned this lesson. It hurts. I've bet against Tony several times, and he's made me look like shit. I will not bet against him for this one. And this
Well,
is
when
not
did you bet
discounting
against him?
Justin. Oh man, just different points in different fights that I'm just like there's no way he's gonna beat this guy. There's no way he's gonna beat that guy. And the guy just does not stop. So when you look at a guy who does not stop, that's way more dangerous than the guy that hits hard, or the guy that is the guy who does not stop always has a chance in the fight.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the way you look at it.
Yeah.
And then you take his skill and you say, okay, is he skilled enough? No, he's skilled enough. The guy's got skills. So Gaethje, I think he is phenomenal. I actually think this is a great matchup for Gaethje because Gaethje hits really, really hard. And Tony gets hit. It's not like Tony doesn't get hit. Tony gets hit. The thing is that Tony's been hit. Is his chin still there? I don't know. I'm just not betting against him. That's all I'm doing. I'm not betting against him. I think this is going to be one of the really good fights of the year for the most part. I can guarantee you it's going to be action-packed, fast-paced. Both these guys they come to throw. Someone's going to get cut. Someone's going to get hurt. I don't see it going the distance. I do see a finish in this fight at some point from either guy. I can see Gaethje hitting Tony, and that's it. That's the spot, and Tony goes down and it's over. I can see that. But for the fans, for everybody, I still think I want to see Tony versus Khabib, and the only way to guarantee that is if we have the interim title. Like everybody else, I think that's the fight. Tony versus Khabib is good, even though Justin versus Khabib is just as fascinating because Justin has got tremendous wrestling. He just never uses it, but he's got really good wrestling. He's a very good wrestler. It's really, really hard. But for this fight this Saturday, I'm just not betting against Tony. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose on this anymore. So not betting against Tony. I'm just going to not bet against Tony. Let Tony get his win. Let him. He's earned this, man. That's more than anything. I think he's earned this. He's been sitting in the shadows for a long time, Let Tony win this, man. I like Tony in this fight. He thrives in this kind of atmosphere, He trains like this. It's nuts, man. I got Tony. I got Tony by finish.
Do you think so you remember when Tony posted on April 18 the photo of him making weight?
Yeah.
So he was at 155 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that is going to work against him here? Because
No. These guys don't lose their legs anymore, man. It's not the old school days of putting on plastics and running for hours and hours. It doesn't happen anymore. These guys lose weight now in the sauna and the hot tub. They keep their legs. So does it drain the body? It drains the body for that moment. He's a bigger 55er than Gaethje is, that's for sure. So as soon as he drank water, he was already hydrated again in a way. You know what I mean? Mm. So you're talking about he had most of these guys in one day are fully back to their normal walk-around weight. So it's fine. I don't see that being working against him or for him. It was more of a, look, I made weight. He's just crazy. Tony's just a nutty guy. So yeah, it doesn't physically. It won't hurt him. It won't hurt him.
Just for those of us who don't know as well as you, an expert in the field representing athletes. What, like a guy like Tony making weight 3 weeks before his fight, does he, like, what does he do for those 3 weeks? So is he, would he have rehydrated and gone back to training?
The very next day, the very next day, he's fully hydrated.
Yeah.
So you got to think he probably took 2 days off or a day off and probably went through it. Like if he went through a whole fight, knowing him, he probably fought somebody that next day, just to kind of keep in the groove and then, get back to, I don't know if he got back to training that fast. I wouldn't know. I don't know how he does, but he seems like he's the kind of guy that does that. Get right back into training. He's a gym rat. That's what the story is on him a lot, is that he's a gym rat. He loves to work out. He doesn't like to sit home. So he's probably right back to working out. But that's just normal for the guy. None of this is weird for him. So, it's weird for us, but not for him. So that's what really matters. Is it weird for him? No. So normal day.
Yeah.
Keep cranking, Yeah.
Also, what I agree with you. I think Tony's going to finish Gaethje. Another reason why, I don't know if a lot of people think, this is a valid reason, but you know how he won Ultimate Fighter Season 11 when it was on Brock Lesnar's team? All those fights were behind closed doors. And this, it's like it's going to be a trip down memory lane for him. So, fighting behind closed doors and not having the crowd yelling, I think that suits Tony. He's already got that experience, and he knocked out everyone, and he was fighting welterweights. So, I think that's another factor I've incorporated into my pick for this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those side things there.
Yeah, just one of those X factors, you know, like because his coaches are quite vocal, and
are quite what? Say that again.
Tony's coaches are very vocal. And
vocal, got it.
Yeah, and he's the kind of guy that listens to his corner. So I think if he's making any mistakes while he's fighting, he'll be able to listen and incorporate, adjust during the fight. Justin doesn't look like the kind of guy that really listens to his corner. I think he just fucking goes and does his own thing, just tries to knock out everyone.
That's scary though, man. That's a scary dude right there. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a scary kind of guy that just goes in there, does what he does, and you know what? I'm either gonna die or you're gonna die. Think about that. There's no in between. You know, so that's a scary dude, man. It's gonna be a good fight. I'm excited for that fight. Yeah, I'm absolutely excited. Yeah.
He's got seven bonuses in 6 fights. I mean, no one's got that.
Yeah, him and Cowboy are the only ones that are that have done that, I believe. You know.
Speaking of Cowboy, he's on the prelims for the first time in I don't know how long.
Main event with Pettis, and I got Pettis winning. I think this is not even. I think Cowboy's days are behind him.
Yeah.
I mean, he reached the pinnacle now. How many times?
But so Cowboy, I'm the same with you. Cowboy's coming off back-to-back knockout losses, and you know he was embarrassed by Conor on the first fight of his 6-fight deal with the UFC. So, considering if he gets a 4th consecutive loss,
they won't cut him. They are not cutting Cowboy. They're not going to let go of Cowboy. That's not going to happen, man. That guy is embedded in the UFC. The UFC loves him. They're not doing whatever Cowboy wants. He'll probably get. That's not going to be. If he wants to fight again, they'll give him a fight. You know, next week. It's not. There's some guys that have put in their time where the UFC is just like you know. Go down the list. You know, they did it with almost everybody that is an old name. You know what I mean? And Dana had to eventually. BJ Penn. Think about it. BJ was still gonna fight if it wasn't for the problems that he had outside of the cage. You know, he was probably gonna take another fight. So you put in the hard time, the work. They actually do look out for you at the end of that. In that sense, they're very, very good. They'll be like, dude, whatever you want. I'm not gonna tell you no. You know, so he'll be all right. Yeah, it's just, but it's just he's fighting for a paycheck. There's no growing. You know, so where's the motivation? It's just for the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's coming off the fight against Conor, where he made the most he's ever made, if I'm not mistaken. Made like $500,000, 600,000, I think. Yeah.
If that's what he made, that's terrible for fighting Conor. But yeah, that's what he made. Yeah, that's terrible.
No, but I think that was his base salary. I read it somewhere. He got a percentage.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Even if that's his base, that was terrible for fighting Conor. Yeah. He should have made more money. I don't know, but you never know because they say this is your base, and then there's a marketing agreement on the back end of that or whatever it may be, and you know, so he probably made more. I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah. All right, cool. So we've got. I'll just go through it again. Jeremy Stephens, yes. Abe Kawa's pick number 1. Jeremy Stephens, $2.
That's my dog of the week.
That's
my dog of the week.
I agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Hardy, pick number 2. You said by KO.
I was
just to win.
I think it would be just a win. Yeah. No, I mean I think KO. Let's go KO. Fuck it. I think Greg goes in there and knocks him out. Let's go KO. So, Greg by KO.
The KO was paying $2.40, I think.
There you go. Making everybody some money today.
Yeah. Yeah. By KO or TKO, $2.40.
Okay.
Third pick was Jairzinho Rozenstruik, just to win, or are you saying to knock out?
I'm gonna take knockout because that he hasn't won any other way. It's the only way he wins is by knockout.
10 wins,
So
10 knockouts.
I'll take him by knockout. Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows where to hit you. Yeah.
I'm staying away from that one. I'm not. I might put some money on. Actually, I want to put money. Man, that $3.70 for the fight to go the distance. That's tempting.
It's nice. That's nice too. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Play the odds. You know, sometimes I say play the odds. Doesn't hurt. We've seen Ngannou go the distance. If Rozenstruik doesn't knock out over him, he's going the distance. So, you know, like it's not a bad bet. I mean, I would for the odds. I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That was pick number 3. So Rozenstruik by KO will just to win. Pick number 4 was Cejudo versus Cruz. Abe's going with his boy Cruz by submission
by submission or
points.
Or points, yeah.
I reckon I disagree with you respectfully. I'd go with Cejudo. Like I said, I just think Cejudo's like really in his prime right now. And
who was he beat at 35? Marlon Moraes.
Yeah. Marlon, that was Marlon came out, you know, dangerous. He was kicking the shit out of him, punching. It was
Does Dominic gas?
He really wanted to kill Cejudo.
Does Dominic gas?
Nah. But
so Marlon gassed.
3 years.
I've already told you. Already told you. The proof is in the pudding, homie. Well, go ahead. I'm just telling you. You keep telling me. I'm telling you. Look at the proofs in the pudding. You think for a fact this guy's gonna be able to go in there and do it? It's the Marlon Moraes. Marlon Moraes basically lost to Aldo. We all saw that.
Yeah.
A 38-year-old man, or however old Aldo is right now, beat Marlon Moraes. So I'm not you know, putting my chips on the Marlon Moraes fight at 135. Marlon Moraes has any more gas, he beats Henry. He would have beaten Henry if he had this much more gas. You know what I mean? Like, There you go. Okay, let's go. Let's go off of that one.
And the main events: Ferguson versus Gaethje, interim lightweight championship. Both Abe and I think Tony gets the finish, and that is paying pretty decent odds. I'll put it up somewhere. I think it's like $3 or something.
I'm gonna send you some money. I'm gonna send you some money for these picks because this is great. These odds are awesome, man. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, man.
I love these people setting these lines. Okay, that's great.
Far out, man. Our last one. How's Romero doing?
He's good.
Since he fought Izzy.
He's good. Yeah, he's good, man. He's fine. I actually thought he won the fight against Izzy. I don't think Izzy did enough. I think Izzy did a lot of dancing. He talked a big fight beforehand. Afterwards, he kicked Yoel. Is what he did. He kicked Yoel and moved. He didn't exchange. The one time he came in to exchange early, he said, "Fuck this! I am not messing with this guy." Yeah. And you know, Yoel tried taking him down. Yoel did. So, you know, kudos to Izzy for the defense, but you know, it takes two people to fight, and I felt only one person came to fight that night. I think everyone looks at Yoel and says, "Oh, why do you just stand still in the middle?" Well, I got a question for you guys. If some bloke comes up to you in a bar and he just stands right there in front of you, you're telling me you can't knock him out? You can't hit him? You're just gonna look at the guy?
Yeah.
You're gonna bro him down, you know? That's kind of what I felt happened. So I think Yoel punked him is really what happened. And I think now Izzy's got a tough job ahead of him, you know, bringing back that aura of, no, I'm the best striker. Well, if you're the best striker, you would have shown it, you know? Yoel's still the boogeyman. Yeah. Yoel's still the boogeyman. He's still the boogeyman.
I think Costa's going to be the new champ. I think his style suits. His style is the one that can beat Izzy. Yeah.
I don't know. I think, yeah. I mean, I think at this point, anything's possible. Anything's possible. After what I saw out of Izzy with Yoel, anything's possible, you know?
Hey, did you know, did you hear Costa? He's come out and said he wants to beat Izzy, and then he wants to beat Jon Jones, become a double champ.
Good luck.
Yeah. He can't beat Jon.
I don't think anybody right now in the UFC can beat Jon. There's not one person in there that I look at and I say, you can legitimately beat Jon Jones. It's just not there. I don't see anybody there, and nobody there. And that's talking at the heavyweight side too.
Yeah.
So, he's too good, man. He's too good.
Yeah, John's he's like Mayweather. He's the king of MMA. He knows how to adapt to every single style, and he knows how to pick you apart like a
Correct.
surgeon.
Correct.
Like a plastic surgeon.
Shit, yeah, just like a surgeon. There you go. Oh, shit.
All right. Those are our picks. Cool. Is Jorge around?
Nah, not me right now. He's home.
He doing?
Actually, he's training. He's getting ready for his fight, hopefully coming up in July. He's just preparing. Yeah, he's just preparing.
Yeah, what's this shit about Dana saying he's got a surprise for Jorge?
That was the first time I heard of that. So it's a surprise to all of us.
What's he talking about?
I think maybe Usman doesn't want the fight.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We've had a one-track mind since the Conor fight. Once Conor decided he was out of the running, it was all Usman all day, So it's all it's been. It's all we're at. I'm sure we'll find out more as it gets closer. So Jorge's preparing for a fight. He's fighting in July. No matter what, he's fighting in July.
Yeah, he's training well now. Yeah.
Yeah. He's training. Feels good. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, man. I want that fight, man, because he can murder Usman. Usman's just.
He's going to.
Yeah, Usman has never fought anyone like Jorge.
Never, and he knows that. His coaches know that. His training partners know that. They all know what they're going up against, and it's scary for Usman. He's even moving camps a little bit, trying to figure out how to do that. The problem is that Jorge's probably the most complete fighter that he's ever had. So I had to face, and I think that's very scary for him. He's gonna probably get KO'd in that fight. I don't see it going the distance. I don't see this going 5 rounds. I don't see him being able to withstand Jorge's pressure. I just don't see it. Jorge's going in there with one track mind, and that's, I'm gonna take your head and I want you to look up at the stars. And he's probably gonna be waking up not knowing what happened.
Yeah, he's got that fat head, so it's easy to get clear.
He's easy to hit. It's not hard. You can watch the film. He's very easy to hit. He always relies on his wrestling. Reminds me of another guy that always relied on his wrestling. And we saw how that ended. So,
Colby.
Ben Askren. Come on, man. So, he always relies on his wrestling, and we saw that ended. You have to be able to stand and bang. You got to be, because if you know that the takedown's coming, you can stop it. A lot of people like to say, well, look at the Damian Maia versus Jorge fight. It was completely different. Damian Maia actually was able to, and when I say was able to, his style of wrestling was completely different than what Usman does. Usman's wrestling is not, in terms of MMA, it's not all that. It really is not. It's very simple, basic. I'm bigger than you, stronger than you. I'm going to go in there and bully you. Jorge's been fighting guys 50, 60 pounds heavier than him since he was a kid, Usman doesn't know what he's going to do. Usman doesn't know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait for that to go down. I was going to ask you something else. Oh, yeah, there's two more. There's 2 UFC fight nights next week. We've got Anthony Smith and Glover Teixeira.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's the other one? Who's headlining that?
They haven't announced that one yet.
No?
The headline, they haven't announced it yet for that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Dana said the fight's in Florida, UFC 249.
Mm-hmm. Jacksonville.
In where?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, Jacksonville. Fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Fuck.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
All right. And is it going to be like on an exotic beach like this?
Something like that, I think. No, they're going to be in the arena, but no one is going to be able to go in if you're not a licensed corner. No one will be allowed in.
Yeah.
They're really looking out for the safety of the fighters, and Dana and his crew are doing a really good job. So it's good. So
are you going to the fight or?
I don't think so. It doesn't make sense. I'm going to be in a hotel room. I can't even stay in the same hotel as the fighters. This is how much they're locking down and they're making it a point to keep everybody safe. If you're not part of the UFC staff or the the fighters' corners, licensed cornermen, they're not letting you get into the hotel or anything like that. I think they bought out the hotel and pretty much kept it on lockdown. So my guys, if anything were to happen, I wouldn't be able to get to them anyways. So everything's going to be done by phone. So I don't need to be there to be able to take care of them by phone. I can take care of them by phone.
Yeah. You don't need to be there to be there.
Correct. So I've spoken to all of them. They all understand. It's not a problem for any of them. I have, good communication with the UFC operations team. And if they need anything, we've kind of gone over a lot of the stuff that, most of the guys need. So, and they've got a really good game plan for that. So I don't think anything is going to come up that's going to be too crazy, because really it's a fight at the end of the day. It's just how do we get to that fight and get to that fight safely that we've got to, all be a part of. And the UFC's done a good job of figuring it out. They really have. I had a good conversation with the higher-ups, and every fighter should feel really, really comfortable with the stuff they put in place to make sure their safety and the corner's safety as well, their team's safety.
Yeah,
they should feel really confident that they've got their safety in mind.
Yeah. What about this? So you know how it's a behind closed doors event, first time they've ever done this.
Mm-hmm.
The fighters now, so that they don't have the media obligations that they normally would. And this is the first time we're having a UFC main event with no embedded. So no vlog series going on, no distractions. In your opinion, does that work for, to the benefit of the fighter or against?
Two sides to that, double-edged sword. On one side, you don't get the same eyeballs that you may get from the embedded series and the stories, and people get to know you a little bit in that case, and you can kind of get fans from there. On the other side, you don't got to worry about it. You just go to fight. I think most fighters enjoy I'm waking up and I'm going to fight. So it's a double-edged sword. We won't know until it happens. How about that? Because if these numbers are dismal, which I do not see them in any way going to be dismal, it's the only sporting event people get to watch. And they get to watch it live, so it's the first one. If the numbers on the Jordan documentary are any indication, this may be one of the most viewed sporting events of the year.
Yeah. Speaking of that, did you watch episodes 5 and 6 last night?
I did, man. I'm a big kid all over again. Yeah. I'm a big kid, and then listening to Mike and all that. I never got to listen. When you're young, you remember certain things of guys, but you don't remember the words and the attitude and the idea of how it goes. And we got to watch Kobe, we got to hear Kobe and the Mamba mentality. We got to see Shaq and the different things of Shaq. But Jordan, if you're from like my generation, we got to see him play and got to appreciate. Wow, we saw greatness, and people told us how great he was, and we got to watch him on TV. We got to watch him go through it. But then to hear him and hear his mentality and how he approaches, the game, there's a reason why he's the GOAT and nobody else is. There's a reason why there's a huge gap in between them,
Yeah. He's a psychopath. He's an actual killer. He always, I've read, did I show you this book? I don't think I showed it to you when you were here. But see this book?
Yep.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fucking things.
That green screen, you got to put it up to your shirt.
No,
it's the only way. You got to put it to your shirt. There you go. No, you're good. I see it. I see it.
Yeah, man. See this book. It's like 700 pages. But in this, so once when Jordan was 7 years old, he was swimming in an ocean almost as good as this one.
Yeah.
With his mate, and his mate started getting caught in a rip, and he stretched out to Michael to get help, and Michael pushed him away, and the kid drowned, and Michael saw him drown, and he swam out, and so he saw one of his friends die in front of him, and when he was 17, when he was a junior or a senior, he had a high school girlfriend. Again, she drowned in an ocean. So he's a killer, man. Death for him ain't such a big deal. So putting a ball through a hoop and stopping your opponent from putting a ball in your hoop, it's nothing for this guy.
It's easy, right?
And his dad knocked out his mum in front of him and his brothers and sisters. You know, they had to run around. They had to run around across the road to the to get their grandparents because they thought the dad had killed his mum. So crazy. I can tell you more. I'll actually probably do a podcast on stuff about Michael Jordan not told in The Last Dance. Yeah.
Right.
Crazy shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that series, man. It's fucking
Good.
Like you said, you get really nostalgic, and my favorite part is watching him curse. You know, because I've never seen him curse. I've never heard him curse.
Right.
You know, he was always PC during his playing days, but now you see, fuck, this.
And you like it more. you like it more now. You're like,
yeah,
that's my guy.
Motherfucker swears more than me.
Yeah.
He just doesn't say cunt.
Nah,
that's
not really a curse word anymore. Yeah, that's not a curse word anymore. I think you guys have properly indoctrinated it to normal talk. You know, it's no longer a curse word.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right, cool. Abe, my man. Always
Appreciate
a pleasure, brother. Really appreciate you doing this.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, like I said,
we'll do it again. We'll do it again in a little bit.
Yeah,
cool.
When we get another, this is a really good card. Honestly, like I commend. Bellator also has an event, and my boy Gegard Mousasi is fighting Phenom Lima for the middleweight.
When did they say they're having? When did they say they're having that event?
On May 9. Same as this. Yeah, Scott Coker's
Really?
put together a card. Yeah, I'll email it to you now.
Shit, I didn't know that. Okay, shit, I didn't know that he did that.
Yeah, Mousasi and Lima. So Lima's trying to become a double champ. He wants
I like that fight a lot, man. That's a tough one when you think about it. Lima's a dog, and Mousasi, when he's on, he's one of the best in the world, man. I don't know. I would think. I don't know. Has Lima fought at 85 before? Or is this his first fight at 85?
I don't think so. I'll confirm it. But yeah, look. Yeah.
Mousasi.
UFC 242. So yeah, Lima's fighting Mousasi for that middleweight strap.
I think I'm gonna go Mousasi, and I'll tell you why. And I think Lima is a badass. I think at 70, he's one of the best in the world. I just think Mousasi's got wrestling, and he's able to wrestle against wrestling. That's really it. That's my only reason. I don't have any other reason to go against Lima. I wouldn't actually against probably anybody else. But Mousasi's got a good wrestling base.
Yeah. I think I've got Mousasi winning on points. I think he'll just outpoint Lima. Lima might win 1 or 2 rounds, but yeah. Mousasi's just way more experienced. He's got like 53 fights.
You're not going to surprise him with anything.
Yeah, he's beaten everyone. He beat Mark Hunt's first round submission. He beat
I against anybody
Thiago
else.
Santos.
I'm probably not betting against Lima because I think he's one of the best in the world. But he's had trouble with wrestlers. That's really where he's had his trouble. So I'll take Mousasi on the grappling edge there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool. So that's an extra free pick. Mousasi, Gegard Mousasi. You know he's Persian Armenian.
Yeah.
That's why he's my boy. Yeah. He speaks Persian.
That's it. Yeah, you could be Gegard for Halloween this year. Just get some glasses, you know what I mean? You'll be all right.
Yeah, get some cauliflower ears.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
All right, homie.
All right, Abe, my man. You're the best, brother. Stay safe.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, enjoy the fights, man.
Well, get some sleep, homie. Get some sleep.
Yeah, man.
Some sleep.
I know. I've still got. This is lunchtime for me. I'm gonna go make myself some lunch. Midnight lunch.
On that note, be easy, my friend. I'll talk to you later.